Good morning, my name is Jeff Launette and welcome back to Learn Now. In each one of these videos, we're going to focus on three really important things. Number one, stretching our brains. Number two, thinking deeply. And number three, and most importantly, having a lot of fun so that each of you can become better critical and creative thinkers. In one of our previous activities, we took simple shapes like squares and triangles and rectangles and used them to create unique cartoon characters. We were doing this to develop your thinking skills in creating unique solutions. We're going to build on that idea today. But first, I'd like to introduce you to something that sits on my kitchen counter every single day. Boys and girls, has anyone ever seen one of these before? It's a pretty simple design. It's just a simple circle with 4 circles inside of it, but it's actually a robot. It's a robot that does little tasks for us. It gives us reminders, sets timers. We can even ask it questions. Let's try it out. Hey Alexa, who's the first president of the United States?
The first president of the United States was George Washington.
Thanks, Alexa. Boys and girls, a simple robot. It has lights, has a simple design, it can answer questions and do little tasks to make my life easier. That's what a robot does. My partner, Christy Day, she shared an article with me from the city of Fairfax where they're using robots too. Let's take a look. So if you order food in the city of Fairfax, you might be in for a surprise, because a company called Starship Technologies has recently partnered with the city of Fairfax to use robots to deliver groceries and food to people during the coronavirus. So because people aren't coming out of their houses often, these robots are making the job easier for people. It's a pretty simple design, and if we look close at the robot, boys and girls, what shapes do you see? It's pretty simple. It's made up of a simple rectangle and a handful of small circles for wheels. It's a complex robot, but it's really made up of a very simple idea. I'd like you to look around your house. Just turn your head and look around at the shelves or the TV or the windows. What simple shapes do you see that are making up complex ideas? So now that we've taken a look at some robots that are around us, let's take a look at some other ones that we use in the real world or even fictional robots. So robots help us do work. They do jobs so that we don't have to. Let's take a look at 2 very different robots that help us do work. The design on the left is called a Roomba. It's a vacuum cleaner. It keeps your house clean. That's a pretty simple task, but pretty nice for someone else to do it rather than you. The one on the right is a satellite. It's way more complex than the Roomba, and it makes our lives easier by helping us communicate all over the planet. These are real robots. Let's take a look at some fictional robots, like R2-D2 and BB-8 from Star Wars. They do jobs too. They help fix ships, they help fly ships, they talk to computers, they do jobs to make it easier for the people in Star Wars. And if we take a look a little bit closer, boys and girls, all of these complex robots are made of very simple shapes. Rectangles, and squares, and circles. These are the simple shapes that help make up some of the complex ideas. When you're looking around, see if you can find the simple shapes that make up complex ideas around your house. When I was a kid, I would have never imagined that we'd be living in 2020 with all the robots making our lives easier. And it really makes me wonder what kind of robots will be doing jobs for us in 5 years, in 10 years, or even in 20 years. Maybe a critical and creative thinker like you is the one that's going to come up with something amazing. Why don't we take a look at the skills and materials we'll need to be successful today and then get started. Today we're going to focus on creating unique solutions and creating through the design process, where we're going to build our ideas gradually from brainstorming to planning to designing to refining. We're also going to use a pencil or pen and a piece of paper. That's it. And don't forget, you can move at your own pace during these videos. Hit pause if you want to, watch something over again. It's up to you how you use these videos. We've taken a lot of time to look at robots, boys and girls. We've been thinking a lot about robots and thinking about how they help us. And here's our challenge. How can you use simple shapes to design a complex robot that can do a job that is important to you? So the first thing we're going to have to do, boys and girls, is brainstorm what jobs could a robot do. And I want you to get a piece of paper and come up with at least 3 ideas. And it can be anything you want, anything that's important to you. I was thinking about what's important to me and the things that I do that I don't really like to do that much, but I have to do anyway. And here's some things that I was thinking of, or even it could even be fun things. I thought about going to the store. Maybe a robot could do that for me. I love the robots in Fairfax. Maybe this could be something like that. Maybe a robot could cook dinner, so I wouldn't have to worry about cooking and cleaning up dinner. That'd be kind of nice to have more time. And then I thought about the idea that I really like to play my guitar, and I don't get an opportunity to do it very often anymore, and especially get to play with other people. And I'd like having other people to play with, so maybe a robot could play music with me. So I think after I make 3 ideas, I'm going to circle the idea that I like best. That's what I'm going to go with. A robot that could play music with me. So just like we did last week, we're going to begin sketching 2 ideas. Simple shapes are all we need. Simple circles, squares, just flesh out an idea. And remember, no erasers. This is about just coming up with a concept and then pick the one you like best. So we made 2 ideas. Now I want you to pick your best of the 2 and start adding more details. Do a second picture that's bigger. Add shapes. Go light. Don't press hard, and gradually add more and more as you go. You can see that I added a symbol, I added hands, I added speakers, and as I go, I'm just putting other details directly on top to make it look more mechanical. Just take your time, be creative, and don't worry about messing up. We're still just making a simple idea more than we're trying to make a beautiful piece of art. So have fun with it. Here's a simple trick. Start with a simple arm. Start with something that's just very simple, 2 rectangles, and gradually add more and more little shapes together to make bigger ideas. You can see that this arm is going from a pretty generic arm to a pretty complex arm made up of a lot of different shapes. It looks mechanical. So now that we've seen a sample, I think you're ready to get started on your own. Just like I did, I want you to brainstorm at least 3 different ideas and pick the best one. Then take your best idea and make at least 2 different versions of it. Then pick the best one again before making your refined version. And once you're finished with your sketch, you have the option of going a little deeper. Consider extending your work. You can make a neat final version, add labels, descriptions, names, even try to think about who might be interested in buying your product. I really hope you enjoyed creating a robot today out of simple shapes, and I hope you can take some of these tips and use them in other work that you use moving forward. And let's think about the skills that we always focus on. What did you do well? What are things that you could make better? And who could you share it with? You never know, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, maybe it's the idea that you came up with today will be something that a company is really producing. All it takes is one idea to change the world. Ladies and gentlemen, consider sharing your work with your teachers or with me. Get your parents to take a picture. I'd love to see it. You can tweet it out at Jeff Launette. We'd love to see what's going on. Or tweet to the AAP office, FCPS AAP. You can look at the addresses on the bottom of the screen. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope that it helps you focus on your critical and creative thinking skills. And we most importantly hope that this helps you go the distance with your learning even while you're at home. Thanks a lot. See you soon.